Possibly the greatest knockout in UFC history. Possibly the greatest comeback in UFC history. And probably the best thing that could happen for the UFC right now. Let me break it down for you. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Jesse and I'm the founder and grandmaster of MMA, Mexican martial arts. And this video is sponsored by the Front Pocket Wallet that won't leave your back frozen like Elsa. The Ridge Wallet. It's a good wallet. More on that later. I'm gonna share some thoughts regarding my prediction video at the end. But right now I want to get straight to the fight. Adesanya came out to the song Headstrong by Trapped. And I don't know how that doesn't violate USADA. Headstrong is known to be a natural testosterone booster. He even admitted after the fight to having methods of boosting his testosterone.
I learned how to raise my testosterone.
But I'm not gonna focus on that right now because I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to focus on implying that he's boosting his testosterone. And I refuse to focus on any obvious signs that would indicate that someone's taking testosterone. I have no intention whatsoever of doing that. My intention is to focus on the lack of growth from Pereira. And is that possibly due to the fact that he was taking advice from a dude that got knocked out in his last 4 fights? I don't know. But it's definitely not because of that. By the way, that fool switched up with the quickness. Maybe he was just playing the part all along. For some fools, it's all about the money. For example, for those of you who didn't see my prediction video, there was a lot of footage about the fact that Adesanya used to be a Chinaman. And here's a new clip that I recently discovered, thanks to a homie tagging me in the Keenan K video.
You'll take a look at me. What are you thinking? I'm a black man? I come from Africa? Come on, please, look at my heart. Haven't you seen it yet? Wait a second. Yes, I'm a Chinese. I have a Chinese heart.
And then the algorithm was like, hey, here's another one.
Black outside, China inside. I am Chinese.
But then he told Ariel that it was all about the money.
It was just me pretty much going to the Lakers. That's how I see it, because they will pay me and they will give me attention.
Must be the money. And then he started making fun of him.
And there's always little people like, oh, basketball. Like they kept on looking like Kobe Bryant.
Who you making fun of, fool? You're the one out here acting like Wayne Campbell. Mira, I told you in my last video that Pereira doesn't have a good fight IQ. I didn't come at you like Joe Rogan, talking about, that fool's made out of mahogany. I told you he doesn't defend well. He doesn't throw feints. And that he's reckless. I told you that his whole strategy is basically Pereira hit hard. And then he came into this fight the exact same way. Pereira has a really awkward stance and hand positioning. The best way I could describe it is that he looks like someone that's afraid to catch a ball because they don't want to get hit. And I think I know what it is. It's because his fighting style is so one-track minded. He's always looking for that knockout. And it's like his whole body is always all tensed up in anticipation of it, and it prevents him from getting into that flow state. So his body tends to be very jerky and redundant, even when he throws leg kicks, which are effective. He gets too predictable and he throws too many just for the sake of throwing them. And I know that some of you are saying that those leg kicks are why he was leading on the scorecards. But you need to realize that the scorecards don't matter. If they did, then Michelle Watterson all of a sudden Gomez wouldn't have lost to Panera. And I don't want to hear nothing about damage because Watterson had the bigger moments. The bottom line is that Pereira was fighting Adesanya like if he thought he was a heavy bag. He bought into his own hype. He started playing around too much. And he didn't respect Adesanya. Pereira thought that it was a lock because it was already 3-0. He thought that he had that fool's number. But he didn't know that Adesanya had caller ID. And Pereira showed up as spam likely when he got Adesanya on the cage. Because he started spamming for the finish. Like if there was no hitsies backsies. Confirming everything I said about him in my prediction. Aside from my actual prediction. I went back and watched my prediction video. And depending on how you look at it, I made approximately 66 claims in that video, and only one of them was wrong. My actual prediction that Adesanya would not come back from the 3-0 deficit and win the fight. Not because I thought he wasn't talented, but because I knew how talented he was. And even after having 3 opportunities, he still hadn't pulled it off. It looked like it just wasn't in the cards, even though it defied all logic and observation. I knew, and I told you, that on paper, everything says that Adesanya beats Pereira. He was even the betting favorite. But in the end, I sided with history. Little did I know, this time, it was his story.
History!
And I'm okay with being wrong. I may be the Grandmaster, but I'm not perfect. And last time someone was perfect, they crucified him. Now there is some speculation about the way the finish went down. That Adesanya's legs get so beat up that he was forced to lean on the fence. And then he got off some perfectly timed shots against a guy who thinks that defense is strictly a basketball term.
This dude does not guard his head when he's comboing up.
Or was this his plan all along? You could see before Adesanya gets lubed up that his coach stops him to tell him something, and then he touches his forehead, and then he does it again before the instructions and assures Adesanya that he's a mastermind.
Take advantage of the grappling, the clinching, and all.
It's as if they had this sneaky move planned all along, and Counting Crows didn't want him to forget about it. He wasn't telling him anything about throwing leg kicks, or to keep running, or to stick and move, or throw good feints. This mastermind angle seems to indicate that they had something more sophisticated in mind. I even noticed during the stream that Adesanya kept inching toward the cage.
I don't understand why Adesanya is so close to the cage. It's like he didn't watch the first fight.
Some fools are going as far as saying that Adesanya was playing that long game, and that he committed so hard to the role of playing possum in the rematch that he actually got TKO'd on the cage on purpose during the first fight, just to build up Pereira's confidence for the second fight. And because of Adesanya's fight IQ, that makes sense to me. What does not make sense to me is that Adesanya absolutely, positively does not ever want to fight Pereira ever again. He says that it will be boring.
I don't want to fight the same guy again and again. I'm like, it's boring.
That Pereira has to earn it.
Now he's got to do the hard yards if he wants to do that, but I don't think it's gonna, because he go cause problems at 205.
And then he even did some nonsensical math equation that was more like a slogan than actual math, so that he could distract people.
3 minus 1 is 2, and that's 2-time UFC middleweight champion.
That's stupid. You're stupid.
I've noticed that he uses slogans a lot so that they could get burned into the minds of very impressionable people.
You don't keep score, you just settle them.
But the interesting part about it is that he wouldn't be too bored of Pereira. Pereira wouldn't have to earn it, and it wouldn't be settled and all over with if Adesanya had lost.
If I didn't beat him, then I'll go again.
He clearly doesn't believe anything he's saying about not wanting a rematch. He's just so happy with this one win that he wants to move on with his life.
I need one. It's one and done.
He's selective about moving on though, because he wasn't able to move on after Pereira's son made fun of him. And even though that was a bratty thing to do, and Pereira should have been a responsible dad and corrected it, which it sounds like he did end up kind of doing, that doesn't excuse Adesanya for being an adult, at least legally, and being so out of control of his emotions.
Hey man, if you can crawl, we can brawl.
He's also been unable to move on from Dricus du Plessis' comments. Adesanya literally wants to fight du Plessis because of the color of his skin. That's a hate crime! And I thought you said that skin color doesn't matter.
People ask, why do I represent China? I think compared to race and skin color, It is the culture which makes us who we are, where we belong.
He even had a Floridian slip at the post-fight press conference.
Because you got to choose your words wisely when you speak.
He said wisely.
Because you got to choose your words wisely.
And after his racial tirade, he thought it was a good idea to make a mess by breaking his cup on the table, which someone's mom had to come along and clean up after him. The kind of behavior that I constantly see from him means that he was either coddled and treated like a perfect little angel when he was a kid, or he was severely neglected. Either way, no one took the time to teach that kid how to act. He's a good fighter, but he's not a good person. He's got no class. The kind of people that are all obsessed with him just get influenced too easily because he's a fighter. How would you feel about this dude if he worked at Taco Bell? Or if he was your insurance agent? I don't think you'd feel the same way about it. Should they have a third MMA fight? People would definitely watch. And now we know that it would actually be competitive this time. A rematch would actually make a lot more sense than the first fight did. The reason that it doesn't make sense is that Pereira probably loses to everyone in the top 5. So even if Pereira won, Adesanya would end up back with the belt anyway. And because of his weight, Pereira's probably gonna go up to light heavyweight, but I'm not confident that he could beat anyone in that top 5 either. However, I think that Pereira is very similar to Derek Lewis in that he would be perfect for the Power Slap League.
Are you ready, baby?
Meanwhile, Dana White's working on the PI for Africa, and it's the perfect timing for some African on African violence, assuming anyone considers Adesanya African. Africa's the money move, and so is the Ridge wallet. If you're not protecting your money with this RFID blocking from Pocket Wallet, then you probably deserve to lose that money. I got at least 4 Nigerian princes trying to get my money as we speak. You don't think they're after yours? The Ridge wallet holds up to 12 cars and your cash, and it stays slim. You try carrying all that around with a back pocket wallet, you're gonna end up like this fool. There's different styles and colors for everybody, even Adesanya fans. And if you're a indecisive, flip-floppy kind of person, it's all good, because you have 99 days to return it if you change your mind. But if you keep it, it has a lifetime warranty. And if it messes up after you die, who cares? Store up your treasure in heaven, fool. But if you want to get a Ridge wallet before you die, then just go to ridge.com/Voto and put in the promo code VOTO for 10% off. You guys have been making my videos very successful lately because you've been doing all the algorithm stuff. I appreciate it very much. And also if you will keep doing it. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Lay.
He's a very powerful emotional orator. And he's watching the crowd. And he listens. And so he takes note of that. And it's not even conscious exactly, right? Because he's being molded by the crowd. He acts out the dark desire of the mob. So he becomes the embodiment of the dark desire of the mob. And that's partly why he had the charisma. It's right, because there's this unconscious fantasy brewing in the back of everyone's minds.